Morning. So before, when me and Molin used to decide kind of spontaneously that we were going to go away on a camping trip or something like that, it was just a case of throwing a few bits in a backpack and jumping in the car and going away for a couple of days. It is not like that anymore. But that's life as a parent, I suppose. It's still kind of nice to be spontaneous sometimes though, isn't it? So, we're on our way down to Öland, which is a really nice little island just down on the east coast of Sweden. So, I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk about probably one of my favourite things about Sweden. In my opinion, it might actually be the best thing about this country, or at least one of them. And it's one of the things that really does make Sweden, Sweden, in my opinion. So it's actually a law called Allemansrätten. And it literally translates to every person's right. And what it essentially means is that every person in Sweden has the right to go anywhere that they want to go. And that covers all sorts of things like camping and staying in a camper van and even staying in a car, depending on where you are. Now, there are obviously laws that cover kind of people's private property and things like that. But in general, you can basically go anywhere you want and you can stay anywhere you like. There's a couple of laws which stop people being really stupid with it. So for example, you can only stay in one place for up to 24 hours and then you have to move on. Quite how far you have to move, I'm not sure. There's also things like you're not allowed to leave any trace that you were there. So as long as you're sensible and you leave a place in the way that you found it, you know, you're fine. You can basically go and stay anywhere you want. And in the past, it's meant that me and Molin can spontaneously make a decision to go camping. So we've done this drive before. We've hopped in the van and drove all the way down to Öland. It takes us about somewhere between 3 and 4 hours, depending where on the island we want to go. And we're always sensible and we're always clean and we don't leave any trace of us being there. It makes for a really nice kind of couple of days. And that's why I really do think it's one of the best things about this country. It's one of the things that makes Swedes so close to nature. When you think of Sweden, you think of this beautiful nature and you think of Swedes as being kind of a part of it. And this is definitely one of the reasons why. It gives Swedes the freedom to go and be in nature. And with Sweden having such incredible nature, some beautiful lakes, you can go and camp next to a lake if you want. You can go and camp in a forest anywhere. And you have the right to do that. That's one of the things I wanted to discuss today. Obviously, I'm going to show off a little bit of Öland as well, because it is a beautiful place. But anyway, we're going to carry on the journey and I'll see you when we get to Öland. So, we're in Öland. This is actually our second day here. We didn't get much videoing done yesterday. After we went to that little harbour, we kind of just came, set up camp and enjoyed the evening. We had barbecue and yeah, had a nice evening. We're actually camped just up on the cliffs just behind me, and this is kind of what we're looking at. We're overlooking the sea, this nice pebble beach. Yeah, it's just absolutely lovely here. And it feels like there aren't many places in the world where this kind of rule would work, this Allemansrätten. It just feels like it works so well in Sweden for a number of reasons. Firstly, there is just so much nature here. The entire country is just nature. It's really beautiful, and it is one of the main reasons why this works. There's just so much space and so few people. There's only something like 10 million people in Sweden, and all of this land. It means that there's just so much space for everybody. And that's one of the reasons why this law works so well here. But the other reason, and probably in my opinion the main reason, is because Swedes actually abide by the rules of this law. So the rules state that you're allowed to stay in one place for 24 hours. After that, you need to pack up and move on. You don't need to move far, but you just can't stay in one place for more than a day. We stayed in a fantastic spot last night. It's almost as if it was man-made. It's just so perfect, a little cove out overlooking the sea. But we packed up today. We've been to look around a couple of harbours and been for a coffee, and we've come back to somewhere similar. That place was now taken by somebody else, but we found somewhere almost just as good, and you know, you can't complain. And the other law is that you're not supposed to leave any trace that you were there. So there's a saying which goes inte störa, inte förstöra, which translates to do not disturb, do not destroy. And that's kind of how they teach children how to abide by the rules of Allemansrätten. Leave the place in the way that you found it, don't disturb nature, don't destroy anything, and Swedes abide by that. And that's why it works. That's why everybody has the privilege of doing this kind of thing. So basically what all of this means is that in Sweden, everybody has the right to walk, hike, cycle, camp, basically anywhere in the country. And the only rules that you have to abide by are basically don't destroy nature. It's not even really a thing that Swedes need to think about. It's almost as if it's drilled into them from such a young age that this is just how the world is. You have to look after your country. Anyway, I think it's about time we go and start the grill. So we'll go and have a couple of beers and enjoy the view and yeah, enjoy the nice weather.